Okay, take two. Yeah, this is take two. I already started the show once. I didn't hear a speaker box confirmation. That was my first clue that something was wrong. Instead of hitting the start stream button, I hit the start record button. That don't work.
DougBot said I'm working here.
There is speaker bot, and I'm going to hear it. Yeah. And I welcome Jim for being here. I did that in the last this non-stream stream, the recording. And I see somebody saying hello to Zavi Minor, so he's here. I have a message for him. Is Marsman here? Yeah, I'm gonna go look at participants menu, see if I see Marsman there. I do not. Let's see if he speaks up. For some of you recognize, oh, that must be a follow-up from last week. Because last week there was a Marsman / Zavi Minor involvement. Still don't see him speaking up. Yeah, Zavi Minor, after the show last week, I tried the executable that you did. Awesome. Oh man, that was so slick. So I want to pass that along to Marsman. And if there's any questions in chat, this is a good time to bring them up. It's questions, computer issues, because that's what this show is all about. There's Marsman. I am here and the script is working. Yeah, so Marsman, last week, Zavi Minor gave us a link for an executable that he did, and it works beautifully. The script that you have that I did last week does a screen refresh, and his does not do that. So I want to demonstrate that for you. Now I have a little bit of a hesitation on making it setting a precedent on this channel that I would distribute somebody's executable, because that could cause trouble down the road. I feel that I know Zavi Minor and trust him completely. But I don't quite want to get into distributing or making it a thing that I could distribute executables, because that could attract people with, nefarious intentions. Now, let's see. I'll go, I think if I just go look at my downloads from last Saturday, that's the easiest way for me to get to it and demonstrate how that works. And when I downloaded it, I got a couple warnings about, do you trust this source? And this could be a virus and things like that, because downloading executables from the internet is a higher risk thing to do. So I'll leave it to you, Marsman, whether you want to do that, but I'm going to demonstrate
Read chat,
it for
please.
you. Let's see, that read chat was Selden Ball. Providing the source code along with the executable might be appropriate. Please. Yeah, the catch there is, do you really know that the source code being provided is what was used to, I'm forgetting the word, to make that executable? So a person with nefarious intentions still could do something untoward. Let's see, where is it? Oh, here it is. So here's that hide taskbar executable, and I don't have it. I have not launched it yet. Now, this executable actually does use the Windows key. What was the letter? It was T, because Windows by default does Windows key T will highlight the first item on your taskbar. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate that. Watch my taskbar
Read
down at the
chat,
bottom
please.
there. And I see that was Zavi Manor. I'll go look at that in a moment. But if I do Windows key T now, see it just highlights the first thing on my taskbar. Now that read chat from Zavi was to clarify I didn't write the script, I just turned it into an executable file. It was a, it wasn't the, I don't think it was this, was it from the PowerShell script that I was using? I thought you were using auto hotkey and turning that into an executable. So maybe you could clarify that. But so here, if I go launch this WinT hide taskbar, yeah, that's it. Because here's a that's the PowerShell one that I did. So if I just click that, and that makes it show up. Yeah, I think it's auto hotkey because it has the auto hotkey icon down here on in the system tray. There you see when I flip the mouse over, it says Windows T hide taskbar. So Zavi got that auto hotkey script from somewhere. Now when I do Windows key T, watch what happens with the taskbar. Here we go right now, Windows key T, and nothing happened. Oh, I've got to have it on auto hide. Yeah, let's go turn the taskbar on to auto hide. It's around here somewhere. Why do I never remember where to go? Oh, taskbar behaviors. Automatically hide taskbar, so it goes away. Now then, it should go away. Auto hide. Now, go. Leave. Leave. Get out of here. It didn't auto hide. Why did it not auto hide? This guy seems confused. Does he know what he's doing? Taskbar behaviors. Automatically hide. Is there. This was working last week, right? Okay, so I'm going to do the Windows key T, and nothing happened. Oh, this worked so nicely after stream last week. Has this got something to do with actually streaming? That it's not working? Oh, Doug has egg on his face again. I just had breakfast. It was scrambled eggs. Suspend hotkeys, exit. Okay, so we see that that is gone. Go back and launch it again. Older instance already running. Replace it with this instance. Yes. I think I didn't give it time to go away. There it's back. Now, Windows key T.
Read chat, please.
Oh, what's going on? Somebody giving me the answer. Marsman, it was Control-Alt-T. Control-Alt-T was for the script that I created. What Zavi did was Windows key T, because that was actually your original request. Yeah, the script that I did was Control-Alt-T. Why is that not working? Oh, good golly, Miss Molly, are you kidding me right now? Okay, so I'm gonna, what am I gonna do? Pass that off to Baby Beast and try it over there. I know I had that working on Big Beast, right? Now my downloads folder is not shared between the two computers. So I'm going to copy that to where let's do I'm going to send it to a shared folder on Baby Beast through the network. Oh, interesting. Okay, I got the downloads folder on Baby Beast is shared to the network. Oh, it's already there. There it is. Okay, so let's go over Baby Beast. So there's Baby Beast. Baby Beast, that's another Doug watching the show. Yeah, and if I come over to let's get the downloads folder up over there. And let's okay, why is he not seeing it? Because my eyes are darting around everywhere, I guess. I don't know. Did I do something wrong? I did do something wrong. This guy seems confused. Does he know what he's doing? No, there is the downloads folder there. BB Baby 2025 downloads folder is there. And it shows up when I reverse order, but not when I do that on Baby Beast. That means it's a different downloads folder. Doug, are you kidding me? We got too much going on to keep track of. I'll bet that is the downloads folder for the other bootable drive on that computer. Is it? No. Good grief. Okay, we do it this way. Hey, Jordy LaForge, there's always 6 ways to do anything. Okay, and then if there it is. Okay, so here's Baby Beast. Let's see if this works. And I'll start by looking at the the taskbar. Whoops, need to not have that on. To see that auto hide is not, or that icon is not here, whatever it's called. Oh, I am in so much trouble. I can tell because I'm not using my words, not thinking to my words right. Okay, so here, if I do Windows key T on Baby Beast, it should just highlight the first icon on the taskbar down at the bottom. And there it is. It did exactly that. It highlighted Copilot down at the bottom. So now if I double click on that and then go look at the sys tray, there's the auto hotkey icon. That's the word I was trying to think of. Now let's see what happens when I do Windows key T. It goes away. Windows key T, it comes back. Boom, boom, boom. You can just hold down the Windows key and press T, 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 T. So, Marsman, do you want that? That certainly works more smoothly, slickery, slickish than the one I did last week. Zivi, that was awesome job there. So let's go give Zivi a bunch of points before he before he
read chat, please.
Makes a humorous comment regarding my point system. He says yes, he would like to try it. All right, let's got to find that link from Zivi. Zivi, is that link still work? Yeah, let's do at, I think starts Manor, right? No. Is it Zivi? No. Or maybe he hasn't chatted in the last 5 minutes, so I'm not finding him. There, Manor Zvi. Says, I found an AKA file that does it.
No way.
Auto hotkey, I think is what that is. That's a 4,000 points. Yikes. And I think that no way means the link is no longer working. Round of applause for Zvi, yes. Now, I don't know what's going to happen if I put that into my Google Drive, but I'll try that. Since it's an executable, Google's a little more tight on what potential infections. So I'm right-clicking on that executable and choose copy, and then bring up my Google Drive, maneuver to the folder, and I think I have some client names in these folders. That's why I'm not showing me maneuvering around to this. Let's see here. Okay, so now we're in PowerShell scripts. That's close enough. It's not a PowerShell script, but that's its sibling. I don't know if I can paste from here. Nope, I think I have to drag it in. I'm gonna have to take that off screen to drag that in place. So there it is. It allowed me to upload that to my Google Drive, which I should be able to do that. And then share, copy link. Then I'll go to today's stream. Oh, I need to come back out this level, I think. There. Oh, there it is. Edit. Did this layout change? Oh, wait a minute. It went away. Come back here to stream settings and then edit. Okay, that was a little bit weird. I guess I'll put that up here. Link to the executable WinT to hide or display taskbar. And then Control V paste. Can I actually, I think I can embed a link into that. Can I? I think maybe I have to do that outside of showtime. Okay, so now if you come to the description of today's show, click more. You might have to refresh your browser page before you'll see that. See, the link is not showing up here now. So if I come up here and refresh, and then scroll back down, let's pause the video so I don't get picture-in-picture happening, and then go to more, and there's that link. Now see if I can download it, which since I'm signed in with the account, I should be able to, but yeah, this is the kind of thing you'll see. There's no preview because it's not a picture, right? So you click download, and you might get some message about, do you trust the source? Here's Google Drive can't scan this file for viruses. So this is behaving pretty much the way when I downloaded it from the link that Zvi provided. So download anyway. And there's the download, and it's showing up parenthesis 1 for me because I already have a file using that name. Then if I open that now, you may get this screen. You got to click on more info and choose run anyway. This is you saying that you trust the person that you got this from. And you should be careful about that. If you don't feel you know me well enough, and or you don't feel you know Zvi well enough, then you shouldn't be doing this. But I know Zvi well enough. I'm fully comfortable with him. So now that is running it. And I've got it actually twice loaded. But still, Windows key T is not working on Big Beast. But after the show, it did work for me on Big Beast. I think it worked. Do I trust my memory? Should that be a poll? Does Doug trust his own memory? Sometimes I'm impressed with my memory, other times not so much. Tim Cruz is reporting that he's seeing buffering. I have 0 drop frames. It's not me, it's you. Or it's YouTube. Ken Stout wants me to repeat the expression. He needs a screenshot. Sure, I can repeat that expression for you, Ken Stout. Silly boy. Here's how I'm going to repeat that expression. I'm going to go to live. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to make the screen big. Let's make it bigger. Then I'm going to press J to go back and find that expression. See, Ken doesn't know how to do this. He's a YouTuber, he's a streamer, but he doesn't know how to go back, how to rewind videos in order to see something. So then you can pause it right there, go forward a little bit more, and pick whatever expression that you're actually wanting there. So there we're teaching Ken Stout something. Okay. What was that last? Read chat, please. Zvi Menorah, if you want it as a permanent solution, you need to put the file in a startup folder. Yes, indeed. That just makes me, since it is loaded right now, if we go to Task Manager, let's see, is it called, can we take something in here and make it auto load? There, WinT-hide taskbar, right click. Wouldn't it be cool if we could just right click and make something a startup from here? But I don't think so. There used to be, I don't think it exists anymore. There used to be a way with Windows key R or maybe Windows key to just request the startup folder from here, startup apps. What's the easiest way these days to call up the startup folder and just drag that into the startup folder? It belongs to the menu system. And there was even, used to be, I think, shift and right click on the Windows key. It would show up on this menu. I bet there's a way to bring that back for a person who's doing a lot of that. Search run to put something on auto start. So I'm going to go ask Gemini. And here we go. I'm going to switch from fast to pro. What is the quickest, most convenient way to access the startup folder? I have an executable that I want to auto launch every time I restart the computer. It seems to me there used to be a way to call up, an easy way to call up the startup folder, and I could just drag a file into that folder. The answer is probably already there. I'm not even looking at the screen, so you guys already know what that is. I'm distracted right now. Okay, get rid of that. Here we go. Completely right. Very quick and easy shortcut to pull up that exact folder. Windows key R shell startup. Yeah, there we go. So I'll Control C, copy that. Windows key R, Control V, paste, shell startup. There. So it's here's the path. App data roaming, Microsoft Windows start menu, program startup. I could have picked that from a multiple choice, I think. So now if we just copy that into there, I'll go to a new tab. I really need to clean up my systems a little bit so that I can punch around here to different screens without doing something I don't want to do. Okay, so then I'll right click here and copy, and then I'll come back to the startup folder, right click and paste. So now when I restart the computer, that should automatically launch. Now, I'm not crazy about it being the Windows T command, because what possibility that Microsoft might do in the future with when they do updates might have an impact on Windows key and the letter T, since that is already a reserved hotkey. So I think if I were to redo that, I'd want to use something other than Windows key T, but I'm sure Zavi used that because either that's the script that he had already found, or that's what Marsman originally requested. That was his original request for Windows key T. And when the suggestion first came up, I'm pretty sure it was from Zavi to use auto hotkey. I think other people were saying auto hotkey as well. I had a little bit of resistance to that because of frustrating experiences I've had in the past with auto hotkey, where I went through a significant amount of work to set up a few auto hotkey procedures, and then an update to Windows or an update to the software that I was using auto hotkey for made the work that I had done obsolete, and I had to go back and redo it. However, I think this command, I think the Windows key T, I think all it's doing is changing a registry entry. It's not depending upon some other program. I think I was using auto hotkey back then, maybe for QuickBooks Online, and using screen positions, and so screen position changes a little bit, or menu options at a different place, or hotkeys that the auto hotkey is using change, things like that, and so I kind of have a little bit of an aversion to auto hotkey. Oh, and new versions of auto hotkey. Then the other thing is when the idea came up about using a compiled, that's the word one of the words I was not remembering earlier. When the idea came up about compiling it so it's an executable, I was thinking at that point that you'd have to have auto hotkey installed, but that's not the case. You do not have to install auto hotkey for this executable that Zavim Manor prepared for us. It's completely standalone. So again, very, very slick. Were there any questions coming up in chat or stories, other topics for us, or do I start pulling things out of my hat or from my sleeve? Oh, I see this Android stuff. I was working on an Android phone yesterday, and the Facebook issue. Good golly, Miss Molly. Facebook has decided that I'm a hacker. Apparently, if you want to hear that story, then, say, hey, Doug, what was that story about?
Read chat, please.
Let's see what I've got here. Oh, unbothered
Read
hot
chat, please.
avocado. Jamie. I guess they're conversating with each other, but hello, welcome back. Good to see you. She showed up on the stream that Carrie and I had a couple days ago. For those of you who don't know, Carrie Holzman and I had a live stream on Thursday. Sam Lazar, let's see, two pull stuff out of your what? I'm not going to speculate what he is thinking there. I know what's in your head. Doug, do you do much with desk setups and standing desks? Well, let's see. So, I've got this desk, but I think the question is, do I do much with my clients? No, I don't. Not that I have refused to. Many of my clients have implemented their own standing desks. They bought the equipment themselves. They set it up. They never talked to me about it, and they did fine. I have not been requested to help somebody with a standing desk or even the ergonomics of their desk setup.
Read chat, please.
Oh, but some of their or lack of ergonomics. Oh my gosh, how do they survive? Sam says yes. He's referring to the client. Now I have a few clients who have done their own multiple monitor setups, done their own stand-up devices on their existing desks. I have seen other offices that had whole desks that raise and lower, but they bought them pre-manufactured that way. Mine's kind of custom built from components. So why do you ask? Do you have specific questions? Oh, for those of you who watched the show with Carrie, when I had that show, I have to adjust my camera.
Read chat,
So
please.
I didn't get that turned back. That's why this has been bugging me. I keep wanting to lean to try to get centered in that picture. I lack ergonomics and now have a bad back. Not fun. Yeah. Now, my most recent learning with ergonomics, and I got this through Gemini. I had a conversation with Gemini about my neck and shoulder issues. And what Gemini told me is don't put my elbows on my desk. Don't put my elbows on the armrests, but let my elbows hang down and have the position in the chair such that my arms can be parallel, close to parallel with the surface of the desk. I've been doing that, and it has really made a difference. So when I'm working at the desk, you can't see here very well, but I guess guess we could do this. I'm not sure how this is going to show up. Yeah, so this is my new favorite way, without my elbows on there, and I've had a significant improvement in preventing my shoulders from getting tight. Significant. And I mean, yeah, really. Hence trying to find a stand desk for a desk that's built in. Yeah, most of my clients, what they're doing is they're putting a device on top of their desk that it's a monitor stand and a shelf for the keyboard, and that whole device goes up on scissor arms. Can't be that hard to find. Have you been already looking? Let's see, let's just standing. Why is it not typing? There we go. Okay, when I'm typing standing desk in Amazon, gives me some suggestions. Converter, I would think, I guess, oh, they're showing there's actual standing desk. See, these are not the devices. Well, yes, it is. These are the devices. They'd sit it right on top of their normal
Read
desk.
chat, please.
And when it scissors all the way down, it's a normal sitting desk. Now it's raising it a little bit off of when it was right on your desk, but this is not designed to stand on the floor. This is a standing desk converter designed to sit right on top of your desk. They ought to be showing that. See, there's her normal desk surface. They're going to show when it's down. There again, you can see the normal desk surface. They're showing it when it's up. Yeah, I don't think they did a very good job with those pictures. Sam says, my desk is built in, not enough room, as my room is small and I use 3 monitors. Well, you can also get creative and inventive. I use a standing dining table. It's being very generous to call it that. You know, on my kitchen counter, I have a cardboard box. And when I feel like eating a meal standing, I just put my dinner plate on top of that box and eat there. So you could use some makeshift method to lift your monitor up higher, lift your keyboard and mouse up higher. It's kind of a nuisance to do that. So desk built in, yeah, you're going to have to get creative. Or now, but you don't have to stand to improve your ergonomics. Maybe you could improve your ergonomics of sitting. It might involve swapping out a different chair. It might involve just sitting differently, like I described with my hands. So when you're currently sitting, are your arms parallel to the surface? Are your arms should be hanging even with your body. It should not be out in front, should not be in back, but straight down, and your elbows as parallel as possible with the surface of your desk. And give some pictures to your favorite AI. Paste some pictures to your favorite AI and have a conversation with the AI about it, because that's a subject that is very, very well documented and known through the internet, and that's where AIs get their information from. Am I owing a read chat to somebody? Thank you, Scott. Says Doug and Carrie together is always a good show. I really enjoyed that show Thursday. I thought, my God, it was a lot of fun and worked well. Yeah, and also talk to the AI about treatments for your back, ways to treat whatever pain you're feeling. I did that. My hand could not reach my desk. Let's see, I'm not sure what that was in reference to. Built in. I'm kind of scanning over comments here, and you might be thinking that I've read your comment and discarded it. No, I'm not doing that very thoroughly. Let's see, Ken, is that the counter we put all that good Vietnamese food on? Yes. The counter, by the way, after we did that, my counter still works. It's still fully
Read
functional.
chat, please.
Okay. Sam, have had long conversations with Google Gemini. Ended up down the converter for my desk. For my needs and my physio requirements, also done the bad back and shins part as well. Good. Well, yeah, hopefully you've made some progress. If not, keep working at it. Keep trying. I've been through many different phases. Ken says he will try harder next time. If you want to get onto Ken Stout's list for a visit to Fresno, California, then you should be in communications with him about that. Oh, now look at that. See, I didn't do the alignment helper today. I think you'll see this white thing on screen. That's where that's supposed to turn so that I know I have the camera pointing correct. Did you see that white box? I think that was broadcast. Chris McGraw says, you glanced partially at it. It is different. I glanced partially at it. It is different. You're counting on me remembering something that you responded to it 1 minute ago, and I don't know what you're referring to. You glanced partially at it. It is different. No idea. No idea, Chris. Glanced at the chat. Oh, okay. I glanced at the chat and it is different. I still don't know what that means. Glancing at the chat is enough to what? Change the font? Yeah, I don't know. Ken says my lovely white box was going out. Hot in Fresno. Yeah, we have some days over around 92, I think. All right. 84 at the moment. Yes, I have been using my AC already. For those of you who don't know the acronym, it stands for air conditioning. This morning, 2 client time slips this morning. One was remote working, one was on site. The remote was with a client who's in Texas. I see your request, Tim.
Read chat, please.
Oh, okay. So before getting into a new topic, we got something more on from Sam. The stand desk, which I have been looking at, has monitor arms built in, triple wide, up-down desk. All right, let's go see. Updowndesk.com. That sounds familiar. Yeah, this is a simpler looking design. You don't see all that scissor arm stuff. Triple arm? What? The stand desk that I've been looking at has monitor arms built in, triple wide. Must be a different, oh, here's triple. Oh, and then over here, triple wide. These two look the same. The picture looks the same, but the price is different. Triple 1094, triple wide. I almost said 11,044. 1144. That's pretty sleek. I like that. And
Read chat, please.
okay, that's the surface that the monitor is sitting on. Oh, and here you see the keyboard table, so that goes up. Here you see it in its up orientation, and then that's the stand. Man, I like the appearance of that a whole lot better than those scissor arms. Much more sleek looking. Available in white and black. AUD. AUD. I don't know. Is that your acronym for air conditioning? Or were you trying to get me to the right thing here? I don't know what AUD means. You guys give me far too much credit for knowing what you mean. Greg says, I may be returning my new brother all-in-one printer as it has been a pain in the anterior at a client. Was there for 2 hours working on it. It would print jobs hours later. Yeah, I'd be looking to. Historically, I have tried to use driver only and not install the full software, because the full software for many of these companies is there's such hogs. But sometimes I wind up going to that as the answer is download the full software installation to get a decent performance. That would be the first thing that I'd be thinking about. Now, I don't know if you're asking for other
chat,
ideas.
please.
Did you have a chat with AI about the issue? Other drivers for other printers that are no longer needed that are also configured for USB. And so I've seen times when I could solve a printer problem with one printer by uninstalling the other printers that were configured for USB, or just change the port for the other printers. Instead of USB, change them to that port called file or print file or something like that. Australian dollars is what that AUD was. Oh, for the one I was talking about, the dollar amounts. Oh, this is Australian dollars. This is not US dollars, I guess, because yeah, .au up here. So that's what he was letting me know. I don't want notifications from you, from the website. That's what he was telling me. And everybody else knew it, apparently. Tim was referring me to his Australian dollars. So Greg and Tim probably, yeah, they probably put in their answer before Sam even did his, or before they saw Sam's answer. Okay, let's see. What was that? That was Greg. Yeah, and I have done long periods of time on trying to resolve printer issues, particularly if they installed the printer before I got there. And also the other thing that I do with printers now, open the box and I'm gonna follow the steps. They have a quick setup guide typically that comes somehow printed. I go through that. I don't come in anymore thinking I'm the expert, I know how to do this. Unless I have set up that exact model before, I will look at their instructions and follow their instructions, because sometimes it matters. And I've also got to the point that when they're forcing you to create an account, I just go create the account, because I've had too many times when I try to do an end run around what they're trying to force you to do that I wound up regretting it, wound up taking more time. And I explained to the client, this is the way printers are these days. They don't make enough money off of selling you the printer. So they make it very, very difficult to get around creating accounts with them and going through their full setup. I've had too many times when I try to avoid their full setup and it just takes too freaking much time. I will look for ways during the setup to reduce the impact. If there's anything about advanced installation where I can remove check marks for their customer improvement program or customer experience program, I'll remove that check mark. If there's an option for the online access so that you can print to that printer from anywhere in the world, I'll deselect that. So I'll go through their full setup, but I'll strip it down as much as their options give me opportunity to do that. But when I go to their website and just download the driver only, for printing only, and then later the client calls back and say, hey, I can't scan. Well, yeah, because we downloaded the driver only, the print driver only. Sometimes there's a separate driver for print and scan, and there's a separate choice for the full installation package. Now, I still do sometimes go for the print and scan driver rather than the full install. So I'm kind of currently at the fence on that, but I am avoiding the print driver only. So if there's three choices for print only driver, print and scan driver, and a full package, I'll go for the print and scan. But if the choice is only print driver only and the full package, currently I'm going for the full package. Now, I won't argue against anybody who makes a different choice there, because it is not a hands down clear choice. I'm not adamant about it. It is still, printers is a frustrating environment. I'm not a big fan of Brother because of that, the extra software that they have running in the background. And recently I have been talking to AI systems about it. Which of this can I uninstall or disable without impacting print and scan functions? Then another thing that's worth mentioning about the scan functions, I had a client just this last week. In fact, I think I talked about it on Carrie Holzman's when we did that show on Thursday. That yeah, I did, because the client said they couldn't scan, and they were trying to use the buttons on the all-in-one printer scanner. And I never set up those buttons. I've tried it in the past where you choose from the scanner buttons, choose computer, and you have to configure it to be able to reach through the network to the computer. The computer has to have software on its side that's listening for the printer, that the printer's trying to send a scan job. I find it a whole lot easier to initiate the scan from a scanner icon on the computer, because it can reach to the scanner without any of that custom configuration, as long as you're using a USB cable. Some of them can do it through a network connected scanner, but that's kind of hit and miss. Oh, see, oh, that's another one. Where is, what in the world? Oh man, this is weird. This bottle of water right here, do you see a blue straw at the top of it? What? No, that can't be. Oh, this is so weird. Phil says no. Oh. Oh, I see what it is. There's my letterhead paper in the cabinet. There's a little corner of it visible over here. That looks to me like a blue straw, because I do have some water bottles that have a blue straw. So I was seeing that on screen, that it looks like it has a blue straw, and I look over at the bottle and no, the bottle doesn't have a straw. All right. Oh, it's only in the world of Doug. I don't trust myself to not knock over bottles, and I don't like taking caps on and off. All right. Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. Let's see, did I finish? I started to tell about the 2 service calls this morning and didn't get anywhere with either of those. Somebody did ask about the Facebook issue. Facebook, according to Gemini, has determined that I am a hacker. I set up a new Facebook account for a client of mine who has resisted Facebook, but her friends want her to have Facebook because they keep trying to share things with her. And she says, I don't have Facebook. I don't want to have Facebook. So she talked to me about it.
Read chat, please.
And I said, well, I can set you up a very restricted Facebook account that will have less of an adverse impact on you. Marsman saying he loves Epson's printers. Yeah, I'm not going to divert right now on that. I have comments. More comments coming out about printers. Yeah, so I set up this very secure account for her on my computer. I was working on Baby Beast, and I was working incognito with Google Chrome. Therefore, my computer did not get, I didn't want my computer to be remembered
Read chat,
as a
please.
device for her Facebook account. Get to that later, Sam. And once I got that all done, we did two-factor authentication to her cell phone. So when I got to that point, it sent a code to her cell phone. I was on the phone with her. I had her give me the 6-digit code. And then it was all done. I gave her the password for the account. She had a reasonably technical friend there with her. And when they tried to access the Facebook account from her cell phone, from my client's cell phone, the cell phone number that was being used for the two-factor, it got to the point of sending a code to her phone, and it claimed to have sent a code to her phone, but the code never arrived. So they let me know. We went through some things trying to get that to work. Since that time, I've gone through some stuff with Gemini trying to figure it out. I went to her husband's office yesterday, who has the exact same model phone, trying to troubleshoot this. And the troubleshooting point that I got down to is if you text a code to Facebook's short code number, you know, those 5-digit numbers, 5 or 6-digit numbers for short codes, you can text the word help and you should get a response back. So for anything that you get a communication from, whether they're sending you a two-factor code, or whether it's a website you're trying to sign into, or maybe it's your USPS sending you notification, anything that sends you messages from a 5 or 6 digit number, you should be able to text the word help to that number and get a response. If you get that response, and that means that number is not blocked by your phone, it's not blocked by your carrier, that number will interact with you. I tested that on my iPhone at work. When I went to my client's husband's office, who's also a client, tried it with his phone. His phone was not able to interact with the Facebook short code. We did not get a response. So at that point, Gemini and myself were thinking that it appears that Verizon is blocking it. We checked for the blocked and spam on the text messaging app on that Android phone. It wasn't there. So that was getting very frustrating. So then I called the wife, the one who wants the Facebook account, and I talked her through sending the word help to the Facebook short code, which anybody can do it. You can go on your phone right now, even if you don't have a Facebook account. You can go on your cell phone and start a new text message, and instead of putting in somebody's phone number or somebody's name on the to line, whether you're on iPhone or Android or whatever, you put in their short code, which I'm going to look it up. Here, the code for everybody worldwide should be the same code. It is I'll just ask it again. What is the short code for Facebook. I was trying to scroll through to find it, and I wasn't
Read
finding
chat,
it.
please.
I'll get to John's question in just a moment. Gee, that's taking a long time for it to come out. 32665. So you can go to your text messages. Send a text message to 32665. You don't have to have a Facebook account. Anybody should be able to do this. And send the word help. And when you send it, you should get a response. Now, Mr. Client was not getting a response. Mrs. Client was getting a response. I suspect that Mr. Client was not getting a response because he does not have his Android phone associated with a Google account at all. So he can't install anything from the Play Store. That might be the reason why his phone wasn't interacting. They have the same carrier. They're both, Mr. and Mrs. Client are Verizon. I'm Verizon. Be very interested if anybody in chat right now or anybody watching this video later, if you text to 32665, text the word help. If you do not get a response, I'd very much like to know that. And if you have that experience, also find out, is your Android phone associated with a Google account? I'm not going to ask that question about iPhone because for the iPhone, you have to be associated to an Apple account. I don't think there's any way to operate an iPhone without being associated to an Apple account. Apple is Apple is Apple. And so anyway, what we wound up, I know I've got a couple read chats to get to. What we wound up concluding, me and the AI.
Read chat, please.
Is that, I think I've got 3 to catch up on, is that I created that account from my internet connection. So Facebook recognizes my public IP address, and I set up a very, very secured account, very clamped down account. And then shortly after that, some other public IP address tried to sign into that account. And Facebook didn't like that. So Gemini says this is a known thing. Let me see if I can get to that piece here. Let's see. I knew when I put in my client's name, I was going to wind up regretting it. All right, let's do this much. You just hit the absolute bullseye. Your deduction is 100% correct. This fully explains why the account went into lockdown from the very first moment she tried to use it. Creating a brand new account on a computer using Chrome Incognito and then immediately handing the credentials over to be used on a completely different physical smartphone is essentially the exact sequence of events that Facebook security algorithms are programmed to view as a hijacked account. Now, is the AI deducing this, or is this really documented? Yeah, I always wondered about that. Here's exactly what happened on Facebook's backend when she made that very first login attempt. The incognito to new device trap, the vacuum creation, because you used incognito, your browser blocked all. I had to take that off screen because the next line uses her name. Blocked all tracking cookies. To Facebook, this account was born in a digital vacuum with no trusted history, no trusted device fingerprint, and no previous browser data. The instance device swap minutes later, Mrs. Client tried to log in on her Android phone. Facebook's bots instantly saw a massive shift. The account jumped from a desktop operating system, a Windows Mac, to a mobile operating system, Android, likely switching from a Wi-Fi
Read chat, please.
IP address to a cellular IP address, and on and on and on. But anyway, that's why I'm saying Facebook thinks I'm a hacker. Or she is. So the next step, what I'm intending to do, and it's discussed with Gemini, is she's going to bring her phone to me. She'll either come to my house or she'll send her phone into Fresno with her husband, and I'll pick it up from his office and bring it back here to my house. And I think I'll be able to sign into the Facebook account on her phone from my house. And we need to not have her, I need to have her not try to sign into it anymore. Because one of the things that Gemini is saying, wait 24 to 48 hours before you try this again, because the account is probably in a lockout state. Bring the phone here so that I connect to my Wi-Fi here. When I'm then trying to sign into the account, Facebook's going to see that it's the same public IP as I set up the account with. And then assuming that I get signed into it, still a question mark, assuming I get signed into it, get the security codes, unlock codes, where these long numeric codes to use instead of a password when you have a lockout condition. Recovery codes is what they call them. 10 permanent recovery codes that you can get from Facebook and many other kinds of accounts. And if I had done that to begin with, when I created our account and did the two-factor, if I would have gone in and got those 10-digit codes, or those 10 security codes, not 10-digit, I think they're longer than that, then I could have given her one of those codes, and she would use that, I think, instead of the password to get in. That probably would have solved it. So that's my Facebook story. All right. See you later, Scott. That's him saying, catch you all later. I guess he's leaving us. Now, we got to do Control F. Whoops, Feedback Hub. Why did I get that? I must have done a Windows key F. Control F. Exclamation mark C. He can't speak right. He can't press keys right. I'm going to go up arrow, trying to get to the last one that I recognize so that I can take them in order. Epson. So go back to the Epson. Let me get, maybe I'm going to owe that a little bit more. Let's stick with the Facebook a little bit. John Williams, Doug, was there an app on the smartphone already installed? Just needed a email account linked to the Facebook account. That's how mine is set up. Yeah, it was already installed, but that doesn't do it. Yeah, the app's already there. Whether it was there or not, still put in the account, and yeah, no, that didn't solve it. It works for you because you're not locked out. Now, here's another thing, though, that I don't know that I have discussed this with Gemini, is that I tried to sign into her Facebook account on my cell phone. I think from my public IP address. I think that didn't work because it recognized the cell phone that I was connecting from was not the same phone number that we were sending the two-factor code to. Yeah, so no, John, that doesn't solve it. And then this one also has to do with the short code. I tried that, but the Google SMS app on my Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus, but the SMS app keeps putting for the short code +61 at the start for Australia, then fails. I have multiple Google accounts. That's interesting. Now, here's when I put in that code on my phone, it gives a suggestion. where it has, I think it's 32-665, whatever the number was, puts a hyphen there. So if it suggests something else, go ahead and touch the suggestion and then put in the word help. So I think that's what you're saying there is when you put in the code that I said, it adds a +61. So just go ahead and send the word help to that number. But he says it fails. What do you mean fails? You send the text, the word help, and it just doesn't respond? Do you actually see the word fail? What do you mean it fails? There's a Reddit about Facebook. Let's see, I need to right click and new tab for that. Text from 3265 saying my Facebook will be suspended. Is this a scam? Probably
Read
not.
chat, please.
I just got this text today. I received 2-factor authentication text. I don't know what it is you want to draw my attention to. 32665 is the legitimate code. I wouldn't trust this person as being an authority as to whether Facebook might be legitimate on that. I don't know why you're sending me that comment. Sam says, I sent a help message and it fails to send. And there were some other things that Gemini came up with about different SMS text messaging. And that if you have the option set to send text messages over Wi-Fi, that could be a problem. You might need to turn that off, to not send text messages over Wi-Fi. But fails to send. Sam, I'm not showing his message on screen right now. He says it fails to send. Do you actually see a message on screen that says failed to send? Or is it just that you don't get a response and you're deducing that it failed to send? Then fails. Okay, going to the next. Maybe +61 is, Sam saying maybe +61 is cursed, so Australia. I'm not actually reading his tone of voice there, I guess. Is he saying that's so Australia? I don't know. Oh, we're back at the beginning. I feel like I still might have missed. Nope, there's only 16 read chats unless I need to refresh.
Read chat, please.
Where's chat? Where is the restore chat? Should be a restore chat message around here somewhere. Oh, down here, open panel. Pop out chat. Now there's only 6 of them. It's because some chat messages have expired. So he says, it shows up from Google SMS app that it gives a failed notification that I can try again. I try again, it also failed. Okay, so another thing to do is go. text the word go to that number for Facebook. If you have blocked that Facebook messages because they're a nuisance, if you put in the word stop, for any of those short codes, if you put in the word stop, that means you're going to stop receiving messages from them. The word go is going to resume receiving messages. So try putting in the word go, see if you get a response. And then I'm going to go look up that other thing that can do the block. Let's see. Help message fails. Shows up from the Google SMS app that it gives a failed notification that I can try again and try again. It fails. So it's actually saying that it failed.
Read chat, please.
So I'll go look up this other thing. Tim Cruz, he received a phone call. Oh, he sent me an email. All right. I want to get over to this. Let's see, what was that called? Tell me the part about turning off text via Wi-Fi.
Read chat, please.
Okay. Sam says, did not change with start. It failed. Okay, so even sending the word start failed. Yeah, turn off rich communication services. It's a modern Android feature, sends text messages over Wi-Fi. Shortcode systems like Facebook get confused by RCS and the text gets lost in the handoff. So turning that off for an Android phone. Open the Messages app, tap the profile picture in the top right corner, tap Messages Settings, tap RCS Chats, it's at the top of that menu, and look for the toggle switch called Turn on RCS Chats and turn that to the off position, and then try sending it.
Read chat, please.
Yes. Okay, I just asked Gemini not to use my clients' first names anymore in the rest of the things that I might do in this chat. I'm going to go take a look at your email there, Tim. Did not change with start. Sam, I asked Gemini, and the short message number is primarily US and EU countries, not so much Australia. Oh, interesting. The RCS feature I got into that but it's supposed to do and how to turn off, but the instructions were incorrect. Typical.
Read chat, please.
We may use a 10-digit number in Australia. Okay, so I'm going to come over and ask here, Does this short code work in Australia, or is there a comparable technique in Australia? While it's coming up with that, I'm going to go look at Tim Cruz's email. Yeah, all right. Well, Tim's just showing what happens on his cell phone. I could have brought my cell phone on screen for that, but so here he's sending to the number 32665, and he actually pasted a screenshot. All right, whatever. Facebook doesn't need that, but sending them the word help, this is what you expect to see in return. And then we're, back to see what Gemini had to say about that. Brilliant question. To give answer to Australia, no, the code will not work in Australia. The specific 5-digit short code which spells F, but 32665 on a phone keypad spells out FBOOK. Yeah, that makes sense. Imagine where those numbers are on a phone. That F would be probably, or the number 3 key, A, B, C, D, E, F. I guess the F must
Read
be
chat,
on the
please.
number 3. Strictly tied to North American networks. Uniquely North America. Yeah, okay, I didn't know that. Here's how Facebook differs globally. How it works in Australia. Does not use a universal 5-digit code. Yeah, it was called a universal 5-digit short code. So why would Doug not assume that means worldwide? It should work on Mars, right?
Read chat, please.
It should even work outside of the Milky Way galaxy, because that's still within the universe. That was just a freaking lie right there. Alvin, rotating local numbers. The text message will arrive. Sender's name will literally just say Facebook or Meta. Rotating local numbers. The text will come from a standard. Now, if you have received a message from Facebook, Sam, telling you that you've been pinned in a picture or referring you to the comment, that is your short code. Whatever it is sending you notifications from, you can do help to that, and you should get the same experience. Or anything, any place that you're getting messages from, some kind of a website or place that you have an account, even from your phone service. If they say we received your payment, send
Read
the
chat,
word
please.
help, and you should get that response. Sam says it is usually a no reply message with a link. I might be missing something there. Because these messages come from alphanumeric IDs or rotating on, you cannot reply to them. just wiped out what I just said. I swear, some days I want to go learn how to drive a bus and switch careers. Type on or help to wake up the server is physically impossible. This industry is going to be the death of me. A troubleshooting guide for Australian viewers. If somebody experiencing this exact same silent block where Facebook says the code sent but it never arrives, they have to rely entirely on the software workarounds as we discussed, rather than an SMS text trick. So, significant part of what I have said in the last 15 minutes is not valid. You can turn off RCS Wi-Fi texting. You can also check the hidden spam folder. The spam filter might be catching the word Facebook and tossing a message into the trash. When you're on your text messages screen where you're seeing all the different people who have sent you messages, in the upper right corner should be maybe it's a 3-bar menu or 3 dots.
Read chat, please.
You should be able to see deleted and blocked messages from there. Oh, I got so much to catch up on. And we're talking about phones. Can we get off this phone? We need to move on past this. Get on to some other subject. Browser bypass. Oh yeah, this is another thing, is the browser bypass. Instead of using the app, go to the browser on the cell phone and go to the address m.facebook.com. M is for mobile. Log in there. This forces a different, often more reliable international server to send the text. And that did not solve the issue for my client. The 24-hour cooldown and network match. Facebook security bots are the same worldwide. If you're locked out, stop trying for a full 24 to 48 hours. When you try again, make sure your phone is connected to the exact same home Wi-Fi network that you normally use. Well, in my case, not normally use it, the same network that I created the account on. I wasn't connected to a Wi-Fi network. I was connected through Ethernet, but it's the same public IP address. The root cause of the problem, Facebook's overly aggressive. I think this is the big thing here. Overly aggressive security algorithm. When it sees something that just looks unusual, goes into panic mode. Security algorithm freezing the text gateway happens everywhere in the world. The only difference is that international users have to use the Wi-Fi cooldown trick to bypass it rather than the short code text trick. Well, that Wi-Fi cooldown trick did not work for my client's issue. All right, let's go catch up with stuff. Exclamation mark C. So that one from Sam is the last one, and then a prior one from him, and then Zvi Menor's got a tiny URL for something. I don't know what for. I don't know if it's this topic or some other topic. Sam says T9. I don't know what that's for. You guys got to give me more than just these short little things. There's the 10-digit number. Okay, so now go forward. T9, yeah, I don't know. Come on, do you not realize you got to give me more? This doesn't give me any clue what
Read
this is
chat,
about.
please.
Zvi Menor says it's a Facebook issue. And oh, uBlock Origin has prevented the following page from loading. I'm going to try proceed. There we go. One-time password to log in. One-time passwords are not available if two-factor is turned on. That doesn't help us. Two-factor is
Read
turned
chat,
on.
please.
That doesn't help us. Australia, here's, I guess that's probably a 10-digit code. Oh, it has the 32665 on the end of it. 0198. So is that why you're giving us this? Oh, wait a minute. This one's 32655. This one's 32665. That's not the same. Sam says the US Facebook short code seems like a T9 typed out number. I don't know what a T9 number is. He thinks he's clarifying it to me. I don't know what a T9 number is. 9-digit phone number, telephone, is that what that is? Here Sam said, we got to move on. Let's move past this, guys. My MVNO. Phone provider and finance institutions have
Read chat,
SMS me,
please.
but it is no reply. So yeah, we already saw that. I told you, Gemini already told me that's not valid. You cannot reply in Australia. So that's back when I said the last 15 minutes what I said it's not valid, doesn't work. Yeah, you can't reply to those. You missed me saying that. I think T9 meaning the old phone keyboard, like Nokia phone from 20 years ago. Yeah, okay. Of course, that's a acronym that some specialists knew 20 years ago. I think I recognize it. Oh. All right, let's get away from Facebook. Tim Cruz has an issue with his computer. What's the issue, Tim? Greg M., when does Event Viewer show errors? That is normal. That's probably a conversation with somebody else. Oh, Tim says, I noticed Event. No, event, we're not going there. Do you have a problem with your computer? Event Viewer showing an error is not a problem with your computer. Is your computer working? If you're not having a problem with your computer, stop looking at Event Viewer. It's irrelevant. Yes, my computer crashed on me. Now, whatever you're seeing in Event Viewer, that does not necessarily mean that that is related to that crash. Was it at the time of the crash? Earlier in the month. And if your computer crashed, that is not cause for panic. That is not cause for troubleshooting. That is not cause for diagnostics because your computer crashed. If your computer keeps crashing 2 times a week for the last few weeks, then that justifies going after it. But your computer crashed once? No, we're not going to go troubleshoot that. If you can make the computer crash, you know a certain sequence of events that you can make the computer crash. Now that's something to go look at. Tim, are you just trying to give me something to work on? It says, right. Okay, Doug. Yeah, no, we're not going to go there. Oh. I think I'm all caught up on read chat messages. I'm not sure if I got a confirmation about this issue, but a one-time password is not going to work for my client because we have 2-factor authentication turned on. If I can get back signed into the account, then those recovery codes That could be useful. Now, oh, no, I was just going to go ask Gemini another question about the Facebook issue. Get away from that, Doug. Stop it, stop it, stop it. This morning, my 2 service calls, working with a client remote from Texas, started telling you about that. That I have mentioned before about the QuickBooks Online issue, where my client needs to be able to send a invoice to a client that includes certain information on the invoice that QuickBooks does not give a specific way to track it. So we took the next step with that this morning, and it's going to involve, in the description field, she'll type a 4 or 5 digit number that refers to the tow driver's slip number that they handwrite. So give that 5-digit number, 4 or 5 digits, then a comma, then the customer's employee's name, then a comma, then the rest of the description. And then in Excel, I showed her this morning using using a few functions where we use the equal sign, left, parenthesis, and basically we're parsing out those 3 elements from the description field that QuickBooks Online exports to Excel. So in each of 3 columns, she'll have one of those formulas. The first one pulls out the slip number. The second one pulls out the company's employee's name, their customer's employee name. And then the third field pulls out the rest of the description that she types. They have 2 of these special clients, I'll call them clients, where one of them, they send an invoice at the end of every month, and it's multiple pages. It's more than 100 actual charges where one of the tow driver goes out and does a job. It's like, I think the invoice was like 4 or 5 pages long. It could have been 200. So they send that monthly. Then their other client, they send the invoice twice a month, in the middle of the month and at the end of the month. I don't know how many records are on that invoice, but we'll be doing that for both of those clients of this towing service. Interesting thing, I think they've told me in the past that they don't have any, they're not actually publicly available. You can't just pick up a phone and ask them to come tow your car. They don't service the public. All of their customers, clients are corporate, institutional. The other one, this client this morning, was an office that called and said, oh, it's the office that has the Synology. The Saturday morning, one of the employees in the office who has my cell phone number, most all the employees in their office have my cell phone number. They are authorized by their employer and by me to call me, even outside of business hours, because that's the kind of service I provide. And she said she could not get to the X and W drives, and those drives are on the Synology. Well, I noticed that I received an email previously, before she called me. I knew that I had an email from the ISP service for...
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Well, there's a therapist that can help you with that. Train of thought. Their ISP manages their IP phones and manages their internet connection, obviously, and manages their firewall. They received an automated notification in the middle of the night saying the firewall was down. So that generated a service ticket, which I received by email. About an hour later, I received another email from them in the middle of the night. I didn't know it till I looked this morning, indicating the firewall was back up, which tells me the power went out in the office. And it was out for longer than the battery backup could carry the firewall. So I knew that they had had a power outage. Well, the Synology NAS is plugged in to the same UPS that the firewall is plugged into. The Synology NAS is not configured to automatically power on after power is restored. I suspect it has a way to configure that, and I haven't done that yet. The device was working it's been on loan to them for 4 or 5 months now. And the first time that it had this kind of a problem was about a month ago. It's not very often this office has an extended power outage. So I think I didn't realize that it needed to be configured to automatically turn on after power is restored. Their computers, their servers are already configured that way. And I think, actually, I guess I don't know. So at least some of their computers in their office, the computers in their office that people need to connect remote to when they're away from the office, those are all configured to automatically turn on after power is restored. That's a BIOS setting. You might notice that I'm intentionally, you might see me moving my arms down. Now you know why. Okay, so those were my 2 service calls this morning. And I neglected to have breakfast, so I had breakfast shortly before showtime. John Williams says he has good service from AAA Towing for many years. I had to call them this week. I had a flat tire on my car. Went into my garage and got in the car and started driving away, and thump, thump, thump. Well, no, I didn't feel the thumping. I saw the warning on my dash and then realized that the car felt crooked. The left-right tire was absolutely flat. So I got that repaired. AAA came out and changed the tire for me, and I took the tire in and got it repaired. There was a piece of metal about an inch long and just 1/16 of an inch square. Wasn't a screw, wasn't a nail. It was a rear right tire. I guess Greg wanted to know that. Was it left or right? I suspect you'll find the setting you're looking for. It only seems sensible to have that function for a reboot on Power Up. Yeah. All right, then 12:49, 10 minutes to go. Take a quick look at time slips to remind me, what else has Doug been doing? I had another. It's not computer though. I've told you before about the AT&T phone problem in one of these HUD government assisted living facilities. About the problem we had when they're coming out and doing an upgrade. Well, now this last week was another one of their facilities. And AT&T came out and it failed for a different reason. They switched from analog phone lines for the elevator to digital phone lines. That was the task, and my client authorized me to shadow the technician, be there with him. And it took longer than expected, and we wound up failing it because he moved the lines over. We went to the elevators and tested. We pick up the phone in the elevator and push the button. No, it was a speakerphone, wasn't a handset. We could hear the dial tone, we could hear the dialing, but the call was never answered on the other line. Currently, our theory is that it's sending the wrong number of digits, meaning the number 1. Sometimes you might need a 9 to choose an outside line, or a 1 for US. So that's one of the theories. We tried counting the tones, and the problem is we don't. Yeah, we could theoretically we should be able to count the tones either way, but I didn't actually try doing that. If I had tried doing that, I would have recorded the tones when we're connected via the copper lines and when we're connected via the digital lines. The other theory is that the digital connection might not be sending enough power, because the phone in the elevator essentially is POTS, plain old telephone system, that over the 2-pair wire, it's expecting a voltage to operate the phone. There is a theory that's saying it's getting enough power for the dial tone and the touch tones, but not enough power to send the signal over the lines. I don't know. Among several phone calls that ensued afterwards, we got on the phone with the elevator company, which is a different elevator company than the other building uses. This person and this company, they do not provide for a conversion to cellular lines for the elevator, but they gave us the name of a company in Fresno that solely specializes in converting elevators to cellular phone lines. It costs less money, it's easier to do, and the other 2 companies that involve thousands of dollars to do it never told us about this option. So that's our next move there. And this, I tell you this story because this is a company, my client is a company who is price sensitive. They are cost sensitive. They are on a tight budget, but they have learned to value my advice and assistance for them, even in areas that are outside my normal expertise. And I'm upfront with them, but they know that I can help them understand when they're talking with these other companies that are just do not understand how to communicate in plain English, but I do. I can help them with these very technical topics, and they never complain about my bills. And I charge them for the time that I'm there. I was literally there sitting in a chair, giving some level of conversational assistance to this guy, helping him think things through. He could have done it without me, but he would not have been able to explain to my client in a way that they understood or trusted. And there were some things that I made his job easier. Some things that I did and said that made his job go better, in my estimation. So my client's going to be paying, I think, about 4 hours of my time on that. I haven't even written up that time slip yet. It was 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. or about that. Okay. Otis. Greg M says Otis or Turnbull. Otis was the company that we were dealing with Thursday, and they're the ones that told us about the
Read
cellular
chat, please.
company. The other company was not Turnbull, and I'm not gonna name them. What was that last read chat? Okay, let's go look at that. John Williams. I had a service call for an elevator that people were stuck inside and were able to get out without me arriving to the location. John Williams, you must, I don't think you were the providing computer support to be receiving that call, right? Yeah. Now something that was a little bit unsettling when the elevator technician was testing the phone line, it was being answered by some emergency services somewhere. I think it was probably Otis. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who that call was going to. For the other building, the calls would go to
Read chat, please.
the front office of the building or the security desk. They had their own coverage for the calls. John Williams says he was building service on-call services, who he's working for. So that was specifically his job at the time. Yeah,
Read
so the
chat,
thing that was
please.
annoying is when we were connected through the copper lines, it took a long time for them to answer. And then they would answer on the other side, and it was not a very good connection. Difficult to understand them. Oh, Parker Morse has a link for my NAS question. I think that's about the automatically turn on after a power recovery. So right click, new tab. Oh, it's in Gemini. How to enable it. Disk station manager, go to control panel, hardware and power, general power recovery, restart automatically when power supply issue is fixed, and apply. Yeah, that's exactly what I would have thought it would be. So thank you for that. It's exactly how I was going to do it. I was going to ask Gemini that very question. All right. Oh, it's close to quitting time. Doug, don't you have computer stories that you could tell? I have to reach back further. Well, the QuickBooks was a computer. Well, QuickBooks was also outside of the normal realm of a lot of computer technicians. As a computer technician, no matter what level you're at, if you're providing support to small business, if they're asking you to do something or if they have a need that is outside of your normal expertise, there is no reason in my mind that you cannot be upfront with them and say, look, this is outside of my normal expertise, but I'd be happy to pursue that for you, but I'm going to have to charge you for the time. There may be other ways to more cost efficiently get the solution answered, get the problem answered. Like you can contact the support for the software company involved, or the service provider involved, or whoever else it is. You can go into their online help system, or I can do that with you, or if you want, I can do that for you, but I'm going to have to charge you my time for that. I have never had a client be upset about me telling them that. Sometimes they pursue it on their own. Sometimes they have me. Actually, this one about the other local Fresno company that can provide the switch over to cellular elevators, the manager, the business manager for that office said she was going to pursue that. I told you that they are cost conscious. She said she's going to pursue it. If she runs into a problem, she'll reach out to me. Beautiful. Perfect. She may or may not wind up reaching out to me for assistance with that. It depends upon the skills of that service provider that can do the conversion to the cellular. If they know how to talk to normal civilians, they'll be fine. If they don't, they won't be fine. All right, I think that'll do it for me. Let's get out of Dodge, shall we? Here's the email address. If you'd like to send me an email with a question for a topic, suggestion for a topic, or a question about an issue that you're having, or a story about something that you went through and solved an issue on a computer, I welcome those kinds of emails. And outside of that, I wish you a very happy weekend. And I keep reminding myself which button. I think it's that button. Catch you later. Goodbye.
That's all, folks.
Tune in. Today is a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day, we love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe now, be part of the team, for Windows support and more than you dream. Join the fun, don't miss a single stream. At LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts, or simply where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Tune in, days a week, for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat. Our tech-savvy crew is where it's at. Not just me, but a whole community, helping you solve tech mysteries. With friends who are here almost every day, we love to chat and help you find your way. So subscribe now, be part of the team, for Windows support and more than you've dreamed. Join the fun, don't miss a single stream. At LiveWindowsTraining-DougBetts, or simply more deeply VB, where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme. Where tech support supreme.
Okay, let's see if this resumes stream. It did. It's been, let's see, the show ended at 1 o'clock, so it's been 2 hours and 14 minutes since the show ended. Somehow, the stream did not end with YouTube, and I was able to resume. It's going to be interesting to see how the recorded playback works. I wonder if the show is already Usually it's finished processing in less than 2 hours. Okay, but here's on my channel. Oops, wait a minute. I got a series of alarms that are about to start ringing, reminding me to do stuff. Yeah, that shows the show is still going. And here's Baby Beast with the show still going, and that's the original show. So now somehow there's going to be a gap of 2 hours and 15 minutes that does not exist from the end of the theme song up until when I started streaming
Your Glen
again.
Agnes time slip timer on portable is ringing.
Ziggy, add 30 minutes to the timer.
30 minutes added to your timer on portable.
Ziggy, add 30 minutes to all timers.
You have 4 active timers on portable. Julie Brunge's time slip timer with about 4 minutes and 8 seconds left on this device. Phone privacy timer with about 9 minutes and 18 seconds left, and on portable PWMR time slip timer with about 14 minutes and 32 seconds.
That's all, folks.
Tune in. Today is a week for Windows support, the help you seek. Send an email, leave a comment, join the chat.
Read chat please.
Still no audio? There should be audio now. OBS says there's audio. If there's audio over here. OBS says there's audio. Yeah, there's audio. It's not me, it's you. No.
Read chat please.
Yeah, I see. I think you're not live, Ken. Do you have the red dot for live? Okay, for people who are watching this on replay, you don't understand what the heck is going on. The show ended like 2 hours and 20 minutes ago, and then I got a text from Ken Stout telling me that my chat was still live. So I came back and woke up Big Beast because Big Beast had been put to sleep. It was on standby or whatever they call it now. And I found that somehow YouTube. And we're back again. Unbelievable.
Your Julie
Oh,
Brunge's
no,
time
no,
slip
no, no. Good Lord. Good Lord. I'm going to try the explanation again. Try the explanation again. Okay, the show ended 2 hours and 20 minutes ago. I left. I came back. I left my house. I've been out and about on town. I came back. I had lunch. I got a text from Ken Stout saying my chat was still alive. Big Beast had been put to sleep. So I woke it up and I see the end broadcast button is still available. So my Stream Deck never did end the broadcast, but it did because OBS is no longer streaming. Okay, OBS has a stop streaming button and a end broadcast button. So the stop streaming button was off, but the end broadcast button was still active, meaning the broadcast had not been ended. This is so weird. I don't know. Goodbye. Get out of here. Go have a weekend.